Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 46 and it has literally just begun to absolutely chuck it down with rain. I don't know if you guys can hear that, it is properly bouncing off my window. Wow! We've got some serious extreme weather going on right here. I know that is such a typical English thing to start off an episode straight away by talking about the weather, but it's so loud! It is seriously so loud. I swear my microphone must be picking this up, so I apologise to those of you who can hear like pittering down in the background. That's just the crazy English weather at the minute. But I have to say, to completely sort of contradict this point, I'm actually sat here very, very sunburned indeed. I've got a massive sunburn on my face, my nose is peeling out of existence, and that is because yesterday I was at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. I went there on Friday, and it was absolutely amazing. I love the Goodwood Festival of Speed. It's probably one of my favourite events of the year. And it was incredible. It was seriously incredible. Mainly because I got to have a passenger ride in a BMW M4 GTS up the famous Goodwood Hill Climb from a professional racing driver who travelled at great speeds. I mean, seriously, it was incredible. Probably one of the best experiences of my life, at least is up there, because it was just insane. I can't believe how fast he was driving, and he didn't know the car, and he didn't know the hill climb. He'd never been up it, and he'd never been in the car before, and he said that he could have done it considerably faster than he did, which I quite frankly can't believe. I mean, seriously, the speed at which those guys can drive, I was blown away. Absolutely blown away. Now, the good news is that BMW are going to be uploading a video of this. They're actually going to be uploading a 360-degree video, and they said that they're going to be sending me the video footage as well, so you might see that popping up on the second channel. But yes, that's the thing that happened, and it was fantastic. But anyway, in today's episode, we are not going to be working with villagers. We are not going to be working with all of the emeralds that I have in my inventory right now. We're not going to be doing anything to do with this thing right here. We are going to be running away from this creeper, though, because I have absolutely no weaponry on me. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be working in this space right here. Now, this space is for the melon and the pumpkin farms. We are going to be constructing those in this tiny little area. And I think what we're going to do is, I don't really know how I'm going to lay it out. Obviously, we've got quite a big area. Probably going to lop it off around about here. So this is where the end of that space is going to go. We have got a lot of space to create a lot of pumpkin and melon towers. Now, originally, I was just going to create 4. So 2 melon, 2 pumpkin. But taking a look at this area, I think we could probably fit 6 in, you know? So 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. I think that would look pretty cool. Then, of course, we connect all of them up using hoppers and redstone. It all looks amazing. And all of the resources feed into a single set of chests so that we can gather up all of the resources. I think that's probably a good idea. Perhaps that could all happen in this section right here. Yeah, I like that idea, and of course that means that we don't have to mine it out quite so deeply as well, which is a good thing because we don't want to be going right the way down to bedrock here. So I think that is probably a good plan. We'll quickly hop into the redstone testing world. I'll show you the design that we're going to be using, then we'll get down to business. Now, this thing right here is the design that I was originally considering using. As you can see, it involves a bunch of slime blocks, a bunch of redstone torches and things. And the way that it works is actually pretty interesting. As you can see, when we chuck in all of the melons right here, then hit this button, the slime blocks extend, they then pull back the dirt blocks, and then the dirt blocks have to be re-extended out in front of the melon blocks right here. It's a little bit complicated, and it seems a little bit backwards and all over the place, but that's the way that these things have to work. And apart from that melon right there, it's pretty much lossless, okay? You very rarely lose any melons from this design, which is why I like it quite a bit. But there is one slight issue with it, and that is the fact that with the space that we have, it's really quite wide, and also it's not particularly stackable. As you can see, if we chucked another design up at the top like this, when we place in the redstone torch, of course, it's going to power that redstone right there. And yeah, that's just not particularly brilliant. So it would need to be on this level right here, which leaves a massive gap between each set of modules. So that's the reason that I'm not going to be using this design. Instead, I'm going to be using the good old-fashioned melon tower design that you can see over here. And we're going to be stacking those next to one another, all in that little gap. I just want to say a massive thank you to both Haste 2 and False Symmetry for giving me the ability to have Haste 2, because this job right here was actually really quite smooth. It went very quickly. It took about 15 minutes to clear out all of these blocks right here, which compared to the massive mining project that was clearing out the space for the villager trading booth, I would say we're doing pretty well. I mean, that took ages. That's because we didn't have a Haste 2 beacon. This time, we just flew on through, wiped out all of the blocks, and now we have a full inventory of cobblestone. We've got some iron ore, which is pretty cool, even though we don't really need it. We've got some flint, some coal, all that good stuff. But most importantly, we have got a massive, almighty space to work with, and this is where all of our melon and pumpkin farms are going to be going. So as I say, we are going to be having 6 modules in here, 6 different pillars going right the way through. You know, taking a look, we might be able to fit in 8 I don't know if I'd want 8 in here, but let's quickly take a look. So they require a 5x5 space. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 blocks right there. And then we need a gap. And we have got 5 once again. Another 5. Oh no. It's almost perfect. But I don't know if it would be too tight in terms of sort of picking up the resources. What we'll have to do is I'll build this set right here on both sides. We'll leave this space for redstone for now, but if I feel like I have enough time and I feel like I have enough resources to build the other set of modules, I mean, why not? What on earth? Seriously, what on earth? I'm so confused. I don't even know. Should I can hear arrows. Whoa, that's insane. It's like being in the warp drive. Oh, that's crazy. I have no idea what's going on, but that's amazing. Finally, all of the hardened clay has made its way into this double chest right here. Now, the final bit of resource gathering needs doing. We need 120 pistons, we need a bunch of redstone torches, a ton of redstone, and basically all the bits and bobs that are going to be making this thing, and then we can finally do it. I apologise for the slow start to today's episode. We just had a bunch of admin tasks to do. This is the sound that I make when I use the Elytra Launcher and actually miss my base. Oh... The insane rain has returned. I'm fairly certain it is hailing right now, just straight up against my window. But it is now time to start work on our melon and pumpkin farms. Finally, after a ton of resource gathering, we are ready to actually do this thing. And I think the first one is going to be going around about here. So the dirt blocks are going to be going up like this. We're then going to create like a little circle going around like that. And I'll be honest, I can barely hear myself. I can actually barely hear myself. That is how loud this rain actually is, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get thunder and lightning, so expect to hear that throughout the episode from this point forth. Anyway, regular pistons going around like this, and then we're going to have regular pistons right there, and another regular piston right there, and we're going to be building these things 5 modules high. So this is one module, and then we're going to connect it up using the redstone. Then there's going to be another module, then another module, another module, and then another module, if I've counted everything correctly. And that's going to go right the way up to this level right here, hopefully just underneath, so that we can do the same old glass roof on the top. Should end up looking pretty good, and I'll give you progress updates as I continue building. 2 things that I just want to mention to you. Number 1 is that the weather has just cleared up. We were being absolutely hammered with rain just then, pretty much underwater, and now all of a sudden everything's cleared up. But most importantly, number 2 is that this tower is now completed. One of our modules is now in place. This is what it looks like, and I have to say, I hadn't actually looked at it yet. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan. I think what we need is we definitely need blocks in the gaps right here. Otherwise, it just looks really very strange. It looks mostly like dirt. And that's not how we want our redstone contraptions to be looking. So I'll quickly chuck in those blocks right there. Now it's looking a tiny bit better. I mean, this was never going to be the prettiest redstone contraption in the world. It was never meant to be the prettiest redstone contraption in the world because, of course, it's a redstone contraption. It's industrial. That's the way that it's meant to be. But what I am considering is replicating this on the other 2 corners, but using regular torches instead to light up the design so that everything grows nice and quickly and also stops any mobs from spawning, but also just to sort of balance it out a little bit because I feel like it's all a little bit lopsided at this point in time. Okay, so I filled in one side with regular torches. Let's quickly pop down and take a look how this thing looks, and yeah, it looks cooler. I mean, it definitely looks better if we remove all of this scaffolding right here. I think that's a much nicer looking design than beforehand, because beforehand it just looked like a big dirt and red stained clay mess. Now it still looks like a big dirt and red stained clay mess, but it looks just a tiny bit more organized. So I'm going to do that on this corner right here. Then I'm going to get down to business and start work on the other module that is going to be going directly next to it. Final module of this second farm is almost all in place. We just need to chuck in all of the dirt going around in a circle. And then we need to do all of the redstone torches, then all of the pistons. And I have to say, these 2 next to one another, it looks pretty cool. I mean, it's seriously going to look cool. If we get a bunch of these in this tiny little area here, it's going to look completely mad. But anyway, we need a block here. And then I think we need the redstone torch there, then the block, and then our 2 torches, and then our pistons next to all these blocks. And that will be that one done as well. So this one is yet to be completed. This means that we can get a side-by-side comparison to see what the two of them are like. So the one on the left is looking good. The one on the right is horrendous. Look at that. That is awful. That seriously is one of the most disgusting looking redstone contraptions I think I've ever seen. I don't know what it is about it. It just looks horrible. Right, we definitely know that we have to decorate these things, because otherwise I just don't want this space to be looking like that. Both of these are now looking absolutely excellent. This guy right here has been decorated. This one has been redecorated, so it all sort of matches up and it looks 10 times better. Super chuffed with it. And now we're starting work on the new module, but as you can see, I've been a bit of a spoon. In my defense, this is probably one of the first times that I've been a spoon in today's episode, which is probably a new record. We're about 10 minutes in now. But yes, I've built it in the wrong location. So yeah, we've got to remove all of these blocks and start again. Nothing too bad. Okay, so torches are in, and then on this side we just need a block, and then the torch, and then the two torches, and by the look of things I've been an absolute champion and brought exactly the right number of resources along. Just chucking that block there and just quickly have a look round. Good. Okay, we are missing a block down at the bottom, which is actually going to be a real pain in the backside to place, but there we go, and there we go. Right, so this module is done, that module has been completed, those two modules you guys have already seen, and I have just launched myself all the way down between the gaps, but I have noticed that something is missing on that side. But yeah, by the look of things, around about half of our farm is now in, and I am basically just taking a look around it to see how it looks, and if I like it or not. I'm getting a distinct impression that I do quite like it. I mean, there's a bunch of redstone in a small amount of space. That's always a good thing. I always love seeing like really compact redstone contraptions, and this is pretty tight-knit. It looks good from above. Obviously, that's quite an important thing. It has to look good from above, because that's the only really, that's the only angle that we're going to see of it. But it's nice being able to see through and just seeing all of this. I feel like all of my efforts in decoration are completely pointless, as nobody's ever going to notice them, and you're not going to be able to see them due to the way that these farms are configured. All of the little bits that needed fixing have now been fixed. So I filled in all the blocks on that side right there, because those torches are actually missing. I've also filled in all of the gapped blocks around this area right here. So those are now all in place. Now it is time to get to work on the second half of the farm. Of course, this is only half the story. We are actually going to be doing 8 modules, which of course is a little bit ridiculous. But this is the industrial farming district. All of these are meant to be ridiculous farms, so I guess we might as well make this as ridiculous as we possibly can. And I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to do this one in a third-person time-lapse. That seems like a pretty good idea to me. It's been a while since I've done one of those, so let's crack on with that one. Okay guys, I've got a bit of a progress update for you, and it's nothing to do with the melon and the pumpkin farms. Look at this place. It's been ransacked by a baby zombie. A baby zombie basically charged in. I have no idea how he got inside here. I'm guessing... I genuinely don't know. What I would imagine is, actually I've just thought, what I would imagine happened is he might have spawned in this area right here, because it's not lit up in the dark, and then he's wandered through into this area, and he has basically wreaked havoc. As you can see, all of the villagers in this area here have been killed, which isn't really a big deal because, to be honest, I didn't have many insane villagers. Like, seriously, none of these villagers were particularly brilliant in this area right here, so I'm not particularly fussed. It's not like I had any crazy mending villagers or anything like that, and that was like a trial run when we were originally doing it. But one thing I will say is that I do believe... Well, you see, our zombie villager actually got into this playpen here. So this is like the breeding area, and he actually managed to get inside, which was incredibly worrying. That's where I actually found our zombie villager. I'm just going to quickly close this fence gate. I found the zombie villager in this area right here. He was attacking all of the villagers, and obviously I went ham. I jumped straight in there, I swung my sword around, and we killed him off. But he did get a few of the villagers, so I had to then kill off all of those zombie villagers, and it was very, very stressful indeed. And that's all because there was a block like this one that you could jump over into that breeding area. So we have to be super, super careful. We have to be so, so careful, because clearly I have not protected this place as well as I imagined thought. And yeah, that really did put the hair on my back. I genuinely thought we were going to lose all of our villagers then, and we were going to have a real problem on our hands. But thankfully, it has now been fixed, and it is now working. Oh, and in case you were wondering, yes, the villager transportation system totally isn't working at this point in time. I have no idea what has happened, but it just seems to be mega backed up. These guys, yeah, it's just a big old traffic jam. So we'll fix that in the next episode, I think. For now, melons and pumpkins. So this here is the full set of completed modules. It is looking good. It is looking good. All of them are fully completed. I mean, obviously it's looking very red with the red stained clay, but I'm super happy with the way that everything is turned out. So now what we have to do is we need to connect all of these up using redstone. That's going to be a tricky thing. We need to plant in all of the melons and the pumpkins, which is going to be exceptionally tricky, due to the fact that we actually don't have any space between any of the farms. And also we need to connect them all up with the items. So we need to make sure that all of the items make their way into the same location so that they can all feed into one chest. So there's still a bunch of things that left to do with this one, and I honestly have no idea where to start. I think the central circuits are now all hooked up. So if we just chuck in a final repeater here, that redstone dot will power this redstone torch, which goes right the way up the line on both sides, and we've got a dot, torches, and then the same thing pretty much happens on this side right here. So dot torches and dot torches on both sides. So let's give this a go. If we place in a redstone torch, alright, that is good. Okay, so they're all extended. Is that side extended? That's all extended. That's all extended. All extended. Excellent news. Okay, promising. That's promising. And all of this is promising, and I suppose, just in case, we should probably pop up to the top and see if all layers are actually extending. I imagine they probably are, so if they've made it to the top, then this is all working. Okay, so the actual farms themselves are functional, the central line is working as well. Now we have to hook up the outer ones. My strategy for the outer lines is actually also fairly similar. So as you can see, I've got that one done over there. This central one you've seen already, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck in all of the blocks for the final line. So we need to run a redstone dot into this redstone torch right here. So this redstone dot is going to be powering this redstone torch, and then we're going to have our repeater running out from there. And as always, I've gone straight into tutorial mode, but that is still a regular torch. So then we need a redstone dot up like this. So we'll need redstone going all the way across, and then our repeater, and then we have to do some fairly interesting bits because of course we run the repeater out from here, but if we place redstone dust down on this block, obviously it gets powered, so we need to run that into a block, and then that is another redstone torch, so we need one there. So redstone, once again, same problem, so we're going to need a block there. Cool, okay, we are making progress, this is going well, and then the final module to link up, and that is the one, and I think that's a pretty straightforward one, so it should just be repeater, and then our redstone, and then our repeater. And that is it, I think. Redstone dust. Good. We're done. Yeah, everything's linked up redstone-wise. Obviously, we need to run this into a redstone clock. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck down a redstone torch and just make sure that all of our pistons are extended. So, we need to run a repeater into this block right here. And that's it. We might have a bit of a mini lag spike there with all the pistons extending all at once. But let's pop up to the top and see what is occurring. I'm a little bit nervous here because if any of these aren't extended, I won't really know what to do. But it is looking good. So both of those are done. Both of those... Ooh. Alright. We have one set of pistons that have decided against extending. And they have done that from the bottom all the way up to the top. So let's do some troubleshooting real quick. I can imagine it's something very obvious. For example, that. Sweet. Okay, everything is now in. Now it is time to hook this up to a redstone clock and then get our item pickup system in place as well. Our item transportation system should now all be in place, and as you can see, I've decided to go for water streams with compressed ice underneath them as opposed to hoppers. Originally I was going to go hoppers, then I thought to myself, they're slow, they're laggy, and they're considerably more expensive. What on earth am I going to be using those? So instead we've got this water stream right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck an item on the inside, and we're going to make sure that it makes its way all the way around, because of course if it doesn't do that, then it's a pretty rubbish system. So that's flown off, and it's extremely quick. Yeah, I totally can't catch up with it. Right, so okay, we can hop over the stream here and just hope that it's at the end. Let's see. Now, of course, at the end here, we will have a hopper, and that will pick up the item and then chuck it into chests, or it will take it off to the storage silo that we're going to be building eventually. But that part is now working. We now have all of the redstone linked up. Now, I guess the only thing to do is hopper timer. Hopper timer needs to go right here that runs into all of this redstone. Just want to let you guys know, this is an incredibly difficult thing to fit in this area, simply because it doesn't fit like this, and it certainly doesn't fit like this. So what we're going to have to do is, for the first time ever, we are breaking the boundaries of the industrial district, and we're going to be building it over here. And I quickly need to pick up this comparator, because otherwise we could have a bit of an issue, and I'm going to break that comparator right there, just so that we can do our hopper clock. And I think it's going to have to go somewhere like this, and then... yeah, then this redstone here can power here, this redstone here can power here, and then our comparators will be facing in these directions like this. So we'll have one there and then one there, and this is where our hoppers will be going. And by the look of things, we can literally just about slot it in. I mean, seriously, this is so very close. That there, and then our redstone block. So that's basically how we're going to have to do it. That's insanely close. Look, I mean, we've got redstone powering this block. This redstone is powering this block, but thankfully, this block doesn't actually do anything. So now we just need to run the output of that into this block right here, and that will be everything all powered. So now it is time to bring over the final comparator that is going to be running out of our monostable circuit into the system, and we need to chuck that down right about here. And then our water stream goes here underneath all the circuitry. That'll make its way into the storage silo. That's all good. This thing is now fully set up and fully operational once we chuck in all of the items, but we are not going to be doing that at any point soon because we need to get everything up and running before I start kicking things into action. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got time for today. I hope that you've enjoyed today's episode on the Hermitcraft server. I'm really happy with what we've managed to do. I mean, we've created a gigantic set of farms here. This is absolutely huge, and cleared out a huge area, and hooked them all up, and done the item transportation systems. That is some pretty serious business. But as I say, unfortunately, that is all I've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.